mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
The weather decided to be just a little nice this weekend, which I have no problem with because, quite frankly, I can't stand the cold. I am more of a summer guy myself. But, regardless of that, the weather is fairly nice. Everything is set up quite nicely. And I checked the mic and it damn sure sounds right, boy. And that could only mean that. You know what that means. We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the greatest fucking show on earth. We are streaming live on 4 different platforms across 6 different accounts. DJ Sum seems to be ready. Indeed, let's fucking go. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, no. Oh. Woo! Do you smell that? You know what that is? That right there is the smell of excellence. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind! And this is the official Lightning Lash update for Saturday, October 8th, 2022. My God, October's already going too fast. We're already 1 week through October, headed towards Halloween. Pretty soon it'll be Thanksgiving, and then it'll be Christmas and New Year's. It's unbelievable. But we have a loaded show. We're reviewing 5 shows because Battle of the Belts took place immediately following Rampage. That was a solid show in its own right. We have a lot of material to talk about, including a lot, and I mean a lot, of big-time news, big-time rumors, including a big one with Cody Rhodes and the fact that he was never positioned to take the title off of Roman Reigns under the Vince McMahon administration. Now, I'm not sure how much of that is changing with Triple H in charge, but I'd like to believe that a good amount is going to be changing with Triple H in charge, and we're going to dissect that, go over that bit by bit, piece by piece. I hope you guys are ready for a good time. We got the final hoss. You got Lady Kenzie, DJ Sums, Adam Carl, and my girl DD. I hope that you all are doing well. We have a lot of material to get into, so you have come to the right place because you always going to have a good time with DJ Storms, a baby. Anyway, before we get into what we're going to get into here, a couple things. First things first, actually, I would like to give out a special shout out to Mr. Joe Norman, who's actually a new subscriber of the channel. I was actually notified by one of my peeps that he is a big wrestling fan, and he said he's going to be tuning in here on Saturday. So if you are watching, I greatly appreciate you tuning in to watch me. You are fantastic, and I hope that you very much enjoy the show. We're going to have a good time. We're going to dissect everything pro wrestling related. It was a big week, some good and some bad, but we're going to go through it all. Do not go anywhere. Stay all the way till the end because you are not going to want to miss a single second of this. But thank you all for coming on in. Earl Cole's also in the chat. Earl Cole, he came just in time to see his favorite part, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Also, I would actually like to get a little bit serious here for a minute. Thursday was a rough day. Thursday was a rough day for the wrestling world. For those of you that do not know, Sarah Lee, who was the winner of the last Tough Enough competition in 2015, suddenly passed away. She was just 30 years old. 30 years old. She is the current wife to former NXT superstar Wesley Blake. They currently have 2 children. The cause of death was unknown. And right after this was made public on Thursday afternoon, former NXT star and current ISPW star Bull James recently created a GoFundMe page for her memorial. A couple things. Number one, Bull James is an absolute class act. I've been fortunate enough to meet Bull James. I've been fortunate enough to watch his matches live, and I've been fortunate enough to call one of his matches at the final WrestleMania show before the pandemic 3 years ago on October 6th, ironically. And he's a phenomenal individual in the pro wrestling in the pro wrestling industry. And what he did right here just goes to show you how much of a stand-up guy he really is. Everyone should strive to be like Bull James. Bull James, absolute class act, absolutely wonderful human being. So much praise and much respect towards Bull James. That's number one. Number two, I'm not really good with stuff like this. I did not keep track of the Tough Enough competition. I didn't really care for it too much. But if there is one thing that I do know, it's the fact that life is very, very fragile. And we take life for granted a lot. We take life for granted a lot, and many people think that they're going to live until they're 70, 80, 90 years old. But it almost reminds me of what happened with Brody Lee. We didn't know anything that Brody Lee was going through, and it just came out of nowhere, literally the day after Christmas, that Brody Lee passed away. 41 years old. And here Sarah Lee is at just 30 years old, passing away. You really don't know what you have until you lose it, and sometimes you really don't know how lucky you really have it to be alive right now. We take risks. We take risks just by simply stepping outside of our house. And even in this society, being in your own house could sometimes be dangerous. Being alive is a risk in its own right. We don't know just how fragile life is, and it can be taken away from us at any given moment. And me, who's 23 years old, I'm going to be 24 in a few months in April. Me being 23 going on 24, and this woman here, she is passing away at 30, and I'm planning and prepping the next 70 years of my life as it is. It really does make me take a step back and really appreciate the things that I have and appreciate the things in life. So the one thing that I can tell you here, and I'm pretty sure you're going to hear this from a lot of people, but it may sound cliche, but it is true. Go to the loved ones that you have. Go to your friends. Go to your family. Tell them that you care about them. Tell them that you love them. Tell them how much that you mean to them, because, again, it can all be taken away from you within the snap of a finger. And I legitimately read this, and I saw this coming home from work, and my heart absolutely shattered. I feel so bad for Wesley Blake. I feel so bad for her children. Can you even imagine that? How old are her kids? 4, 5, 6? And they're already without a mother. I can't imagine what they're going through, and I would not wish that upon anyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done to me. No matter how much I may despise someone professionally or personally, I would never wish for anyone to lose a loved one at such a young age like that. And my condolences, my thoughts, my prayers go out to the family, the friends of Sarah Lee, and anyone that was affected directly by this shocking and absolutely devastating, tragic loss. So my thoughts and prayers go out to anyone that was affected by the death of Sarah Lee. We're going to move on with the show. And I thank you all for stopping by. You guys are great as per usual. Please make sure if you haven't already done so, follow me on Twitter at HistoryMakerDJS. That is at HistoryMakerDJS, both on Twitter and Instagram. You can also add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, please make sure if you haven't already done so, please make sure that you go and check out the rundown for Battle of the Belts and Extreme Rules with Jay Alletto. Battle of the Belts already happened, so if you want to skip that part and go straight to the Extreme Rules rundown portion of the video, you can do that. Extreme Rules, of course, is tonight. Go check that out after the LFU is over. Jay Alletto is always a great guest. I very much enjoy having Jay Alletto on the show, and we have great back and forth. We have great analytical dissection. Tomorrow at 1, the man in the chat by the name of Earl Cole will be returning to the DJ Storms channel tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. He is going to come on the Rewind for WWE Extreme Rules. We're going to dissect everything that's going down tonight at Extreme Rules. It's going to be big. It's going to be fun. And I'm very happy to collaborate with Earl Cole once again. And then this Thursday, October 13th, I'm going to be going on his show to dissect the first ever AEW Canada show. It's going to be big. The first ever AEW Dynamite live from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's going to be huge. It's going to be big. And I'm very, very happy to be collaborating with Earl Cole twice in 1 week. It's going to be a lot of fun. So do not miss those two shows. They're going to be big. And of course, with DJ Storms and Earl Cole, we are the dynamic duo of the IWC. We go together like tacos and Tuesdays. Please make sure if you haven't already done so. I mean, we're 12 minutes into the stream. If you're not liking the stream, I don't know what you're doing. When you come on in, you got to like the stream. It's very vital. It's important that you do so. Come on in and like the stream. Like the stream, whether you're watching on Twitch or Facebook or Twitter or YouTube channel, my channel, the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel, whichever you're liking it on, please like it, share it out as well. Share it out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever social media platforms that you may be using. Of course, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. And we actually just surpassed 180 subs on the Hardcore Sports channel. We are now 18. That is right. 18, baby. 18 subs away from peaking 200 subscribers on the Hardcore Sports channel. So people, if you have not already subscribed to the Hardcore Sports channel, I really do not know what the fuck you are waiting for. Go and like it right now because it is incredibly vital. We have a lot of great content coming to you, especially during the football season. We are covering all types of sports: football, basketball, baseball, and hockey, and wrestling, UFC. We're covering it all. So please subscribe to the Hardcore Sports channel if you haven't already done so. Please make sure when you hit that subscribe button that you hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because then you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, baby, it is the best time to be on YouTube because it's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn shin strap combination. I touched it up this morning. And this beautiful mustache. Hey, Earl, it's your favorite part. It's your favorite part, Earl, because we're going to light it up right here on the channel with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like a Campbell's soup, just like a Thanksgiving dinner, just like a warm, succulent, Christmas Eve ham dinner with mashed potatoes and some gravy, just like a nice plate of Chinese beef lo mein with a side of fried rice and steamed dumplings. Oh, I'm so good. You already know the drill. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. And don't you forget it. Anyway. Enough of the chit-chat, enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. Let's get straight into the festivities here. Let's start off with the news, rumors, and reports here on the LFU. Sammy Guevara and Andrade El Idolo. They were the talk of the town on Wednesday, and not in a good way. And it's quite pathetic that I'm even talking about this. Sammy apparently publicly aired out his frustrations about Andrade working too stiff in the ring. He then called Andrade a jobber on Twitter. Andrade responded back by saying, and I quote, "I said it to your face. If you had a problem with me and you said nothing, I won't beat your ass because I'm a professional. Don't be scared. When I say something, I name names, and I'm not scared to get fired. Hashtag Sammy." Sammy then responded back pretty harshly by tweeting, and I quote, "You didn't say shit to me, you liar, but here's some truth, you ungrateful prick. You would be jobless if it wasn't for your dad-in-law. Are you really mad at me, or are you mad at yourself for failing to get over for a second time? Just go back to WWE like we all know you want to do and fuck off." So apparently, when both men got to Dynamite this past Wednesday, they were both spoken to. I don't know by who, I don't know when, but they were spoken to, and they confronted each other anyway. Andrade threw punches. Sammy shoved Andrade. Andrade was sent home. Sammy was not. The belief is that Andrade is legitimately trying to get fired by WWE. I got a lot to say about this, and there's so many variables to go into this. And after what happened at All Out, you would think that we would have a sense of fucking professionalism being integrated into the locker room, especially after that locker room meeting back at Grand Slam with Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho, and Bryan Danielson leading the charge. But no. Now CM Punk is a thin-skinned cunt, and no one is on CM Punk's side. I would be surprised if there is someone on CM Punk's side with what happened with the Elite at All Out. But at the end of the fucking day, maybe what he said that he works with children. In the end, he may very well end up being right. This was childish. This was fucking juvenile. First things first. Sammy, if he had a problem, again, it's the same scenario going on with other shit, like with CM Punk and Adam Page. If they had problems, they aired it out publicly and they brought it to fucking light in the IWC on Twitter and or on television. Why the fuck was this brought to light? Why was this brought to the public? TMZ is actually reporting that several wrestlers were pissed at Sammy for publicly airing personal and private issues, and things just boiled over at the arena. Why exactly is anyone airing public and personal private issues out to the general IWC for everyone to know about? Why? Where is the fucking sense of professionalism? I compared this to what I did when I was hired as a commentator back in 2019 for one of Crowbar's shows. Shout out to him. I went around and I specifically asked everyone, what do you want me to talk about? I wrote up some notes. What do you want me to say? What do you not want me to say? How fucking hard is it to communicate with people in a private, civilized manner? How fucking hard is that? Or is it the fact that these people want to fucking cause drama? Sammy Guevara, if he had a problem with how Andrade worked in the ring, why didn't he fucking confront him privately and professionally like a fucking adult. Why? And even then, it sounds fucking ridiculous because your fucking job is to get hit. If Andrade's not injuring anyone, why the fuck do you care how hard he hits in the ring? I have been hit fucking hard, and I mean hard. When I was 12, 13 years old and I took karate, everyone takes karate, but I got fucking hit hard during the karate tournaments. Did I bitch and moan and complain to the officials over there? No, because that's part of the fucking gig. That's part of the fucking gig. So why exactly are you complaining about that to begin with? Regardless of that, if you had an issue, it should have been taken care of privately. Then you got Andrade. Now, Andrade, he was defending himself. I understand that. He told him what to do. But at the end of the fucking day, Andrade and the way that he conducted himself, that was a fucking embarrassment. Sammy decided to act like a fucking child. That does not mean Andrade, who is older than Sammy and should realistically be more fucking mature than Sammy, why does he have to bring himself down to Sammy's level? That's where Andrade went wrong. You don't fucking bring yourself down to someone's level just because you're mad in the fucking moment. And number two, you're trying to fucking get fired. Listen, Andrade and his booking with AEW, it has not been good. And there's multiple factors to go into it. The fact that there's not enough TV time, the fact that there is just so much talent on the roster, and Tony Khan needs to get another hour of Rampage. He needs to make Battle of the Belts 2 hours. He needs to get a Ring of Honor show. I get it. It's tough to do it, but then Tony Khan, he's also to blame because he's taking on too many responsibilities and he needs to formulate a creative team. Regardless of that, and regardless of Andrade's booking, you don't, and I'm sorry, you do not do that regardless of what is going on with your booking, regardless if you are frustrated with your booking. You do not conduct yourself in that manner for a worldwide company like that. And on top of that, Triple H, he may want Andrade back, but after what Andrade did here, how exactly do you think Triple H is going to look at Andrade now? Andrade could very well be hurting himself more than anyone. And then Sammy, he just made it worse with that comment on Twitter. Things boiled over at the arena. Andrade, listen, I don't give a shit how disgruntled you are. You don't come on in throwing fucking punches like that. Sammy's pretty much been the instigator for a couple of issues in the last couple of months. I don't know where the fuck this even came from. And then Andrade was sent home and Sammy was not. Now, Sammy did not throw punches. Granted, Andrade threw punches, but after everything that happened and the fact that Sammy was already treading on thin ice because of what happened with Eddie Kingston, why wasn't he sent home? That right there is a fucking problem. And it really makes the whole situation look like Sammy is being favorited to by Tony Khan. And that's not good. Regardless of whether or not what happened in the main event was planned. And I do believe that was the original outcome, regardless of what was going to happen on Twitter. I do believe Sammy was initially going to win that match. And they didn't do that by design. They didn't do that because of what happened on Twitter to stick it to Andrade. They did that specifically because that was the plan all along for the last week. But regardless of that, you could have easily fucking changed the main event. You could have easily changed the main event and you could have put Jericho in there with a Jake Hager. And that would have been a suitable main event for Dynamite. It's not like the match would have been bad with Jake Hager in there tagging with Jericho against Bryan and Garcia. Stupid. Sammy should have been sent home right there with Andrade. Regardless of everything that happened and regardless of all the missed opportunities with Andrade and his booking, that is completely irrelevant and impertinent to the facts right now. Andrade and Sammy conducted themselves like fucking juvenile delinquents. And Tony Khan, he seemed like he was favoring one over the other. Stupid. It's stupid. And Andrade, the belief is Andrade's trying to get fired. And if Andrade's really trying to get fired, then you know what? Fuck him. Let him go. Let him go. They don't need Andrade. They don't need Sammy either. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Sammy, and I've been trying to figure that out. 2021 and 2022 Sammy have been two different Sammy Guevaras. And I don't want to blame Ty Conti. It's not Ty Conti per se having a bad influence on him. It's not. Because that would be unfair for me to say. The one thing I can chalk it up to is the fact that in 2021, he was on the come up. In 2021, he was on the come up, and he was looking for that big first moment. He ended Miro's undefeated streak. He won the TNT Championship, and then he started dating, and then he got engaged to Ty Conti. He was having banger after banger after banger match. The only thing I can chalk it up to is the fact that Sammy has let the fame go to his head. Sammy has let the fame go to his head, and he thinks he's untouchable. It happened with Kingston. Now it happened with Andrade. Tony Khan needs to fucking lay down the hammer. He needs to grow a pair of fucking balls. I love Tony Khan. I love what he's doing, but he needs to grow a pair of fucking balls and say, if you do this shit again, Samuel, you are gone. You need to check your fucking ego at the door. You are not untouchable. You are not in a scenario where you are to be instigating fights, especially considering after what happened of just a mere month ago at All Out with CM Punk, and we're trying to sort that shit out. There's impending legal issues coming on. If you fuck up again, you are gone. Get Andrade out of there while you're at it, because after what he did, he embarrassed the company. There's no way that you could let him back in after what happened. Do you honestly think this is going to smooth over? Get him out if he doesn't want to be there. Anyone that doesn't want to be there, let him go. Let them go, because at the end of the day, maybe shrinking down the roster just a little bit will help them. They are not going to have a fun time operating with such a bloated roster and only 3 hours of TV time. Until they get the second hour of Rampage and until they get the Ring of Honor TV deal, we do not need such a bloated roster. When Tony Khan bloated the roster, he should have had a plan to get those extra hours of TV just like that, and he didn't, because he's not in the position where he's going to be negotiating TV rights deals yet. That's coming up at the end of next year. Tony Khan needs to get Andrade out there for fucking embarrassing the company, and then he needs to fucking get Sammy Guevara under control. He needs to tell him, dude, if you fuck up again, you are gone. You are gone. It is absolutely fucking ridiculous. It is ridiculous that this shit even happened. Sammy and Andrade should be fucking embarrassed of themselves. Shit needs to change, and shit needs to change quick. I need to let that out, but let me know what you guys think about that. We are going to continue on. We got a report from WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes talked about how WWE is looking to shake things up. A few little minor details to the show are changing, including the commentary. The tweet from WrestleVotes read, and I quote, "I'm told to expect a commentary change on Raw with the season premiere this coming week. Other minor aspects of both shows are also set to get altered as well." And this actually came to fruition when WWE announced a commentary lineup for next week and going forward. For Raw, play-by-play commentary is going to be two-man booths across the board. It's going to be Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves. SmackDown will be Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, which I thought was great last night. NXT is Vic Joseph and Booker T. Pay-per-views are Michael Cole and Corey Graves, and Kathy Kelly, who, by the way, is great. Kathy Kelly's awesome. Kathy Kelly is back as a backstage interviewer for Monday Night Raw. I have no issue with this whatsoever. I have no issue with that at all. Now, I have a fucking issue with Booker T. And, like, people are really going to watch NXT for fucking Booker T on commentary. Now, Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves, I don't necessarily know how I feel about that. I'm willing to give it a chance, but realistically, SmackDown, compared to everything, SmackDown clearly has the best commentary team. Wade Barrett has been doing a great job on NXT, and now that he's on SmackDown with Michael Cole, they gel very, very, very well together. NXT obviously still sucks, but no one gives a fuck about NXT anyway. I have not given a fuck about NXT ever since they completely revamped the entire fucking brand with 2.0. That shit was embarrassing. I'm not even going to cover NXT Halloween Havoc. And Halloween Havoc, that's actually on the weekend where my sister's receiving confirmation, and it's also my mother's birthday. So it's not like I'm missing anything important if I don't watch NXT TakeOver. I'll do a rundown for it, but I'm not going to do a rewind for it. Fuck that. Fuck that. But SmackDown clearly has the best commentary team. I am open to seeing what Kevin Patrick can do. I'm open to seeing what Kevin Patrick can do. We'll find out. But that's what the commentary team is looking like. Really not much of a major change. Really not that much of a major change. I didn't really care all too much for it. All I care about is as long as they give me a good, solid wrestling show, I'll be fine. A report from PW Insider came to fruition last Friday night on SmackDown. Last night, Legado del Fantasma made their debut on the main roster. This was Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro, and Zelina Vega is now managing them, and they are going into a feud with Hit Row. I have no issue with that whatsoever. I have no issue with that whatsoever. I think that this is a great move. I think Zelina Vega fits that role perfectly, and she fits much better as a manager than she does as an in-ring performer, because Zelina Vega, as an in-ring performer, she's like the Spanish version of Alexa Bliss. She is sloppy, she's uncoordinated, she's weak, she sucks as an in-ring performer. Her value is as a manager. And obviously, Andrade, he's not coming back to WWE anytime soon because Tony Khan said he's not granting releases. So at the end of the fucking day, it looks like this is probably the next best thing. And if Andrade ends up coming back to the WWE, maybe he joins Legado del Fantasma. Maybe we have yet another big-time faction. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. But that is a great move. That is an excellent fucking move. Very, very happy. Very, very happy to see that. I got a report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and I didn't really need this report to confirm anything regarding this woman, but I had a feeling that it was going to come out anyway. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Saraya has officially been cleared for in-ring competition by AEW doctor Michael Sampson. I didn't need this report because if you watch Dynamite this past Wednesday, Britt Baker cut a promo saying that Saraya was not cleared by the in-ring doctors. So what that pretty much means is they're telling you without telling you, yeah, she's cleared, so we're going to turn it into a work. If they kept it silent, that would be different. AEW would not openly say something like that if it was true. If Saraya was legitimately not cleared by anyone to compete in the ring, then she would not, Britt Baker would not have said what she said. They had Britt Baker do that by design because Britt Baker and Saraya are going to be on a collision course. Now, what do I think is going to happen? Where are we going with this? Saraya is not going to be wrestling every week. She's not going to be wrestling every week. She doesn't need to wrestle every week. If anything, she could take a Brock Lesnar-like schedule and she can only wrestle when we have the big-time pay-per-view matches. And then she can help work as a coach and a creative team member backstage. There's a lot of value in Saraya on both sides of the spectrum as a backstage correspondent and creative team member and as an in-ring performer. Now, I don't believe that she's going to be going hog wild. She's not going to be wrestling like fucking Athena or Toni Storm or Serena Deeb. She's not going to be wrestling like them. What's going to happen is they're slowly going to ease her in. This past Wednesday was the first step. It's baby steps, one by one, and that is a very good strategy to take. They're not giving everything away too soon. So at the end of the day, what we are looking at, for me at least, I can see a tag team match happening. Athena broke Britt Baker's nose. So you have Athena and Saraya versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and that will ultimately be the final nail in the coffin that splits those two women up, and Jamie Hayter will go on to have a great, successful career as a babyface. And we don't need a one-on-one match yet. That is a perfect match for Saraya. Now, why not Toni Storm? Toni Storm specifically because I do believe Thunder Rosa is going to be back. I do believe Thunder Rosa will be back in time for Full Gear, and we're going to get the unification match. So we're going to get Rosa and Toni Storm in the unification match, and then we're going to get Saraya and Athena versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and that's going to be the final nail in the coffin that splits those two women up. Saraya is not there to win titles. She's not there to be wrestling every week. She is going to be there. She's going to be there in order to help advance the division along further. And a tag team match is a great way to ease her in. Same thing that AEW did with Sting when Sting first came in. Simple. Speaking of commentators, I mentioned something about WWE switching up the commentary teams on all of their three major shows. One commentator will not be returning to the WWE, and his name is Nigel McGuinness, because according to Fightful, they confirmed it yesterday that Nigel McGuinness has officially been released by WWE. Why did WWE release him? I don't know. I'm not sure. For me, I can only think of one of two options. Number one isn't really all that relevant to the facts, but I do believe it has something to do with number two. But number one is the fact that maybe Nigel McGuinness, in Triple H's eyes, he doesn't really work all too well with anyone else. Maybe Nigel McGuinness only works really well with Mauro Ranallo. Maybe Nigel McGuinness only wanted to do commentary with Mauro Ranallo. Or maybe he wanted to stay in the UK. That's number two. Maybe he didn't want to travel. Maybe he did not want to travel back from the UK to the US, and he didn't want to travel all around Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and do commentary there. Maybe he didn't want to do that. That's a possibility. I don't know, but if you're asking me, I don't understand why Nigel McGuinness would have been released for any reason other than that, the fact that he didn't want to travel. Because if I'm Triple H, I'm offering Nigel McGuinness a fucking blank check, and I am paying that man for everything that he's worth to get him as a commentator on the main roster. I would have loved Nigel McGuinness as a play-by-play commentator on Monday nights. That would be great. Really. It sucks. I really don't know what to expect from this. I'm assuming we're going to be hearing more about this as time goes on. But Nigel McGuinness will not be returning to WWE, which very much sucks, because he is one of the best commentators that WWE has seen in a long, long time. The big report before we get into the weekly show reviews. Fightful provided a very shocking, yet not so shocking report on the plans for Cody Rhodes under the Vince McMahon administration. Now, again, I was shocked, but at the same point in time, I wasn't shocked, because this is what WWE does. They always drop the ball, and they never know how to book someone. According to these sources, at the time of his injury, Vince McMahon did not solidify plans for Cody to take the undisputed WWE Universal Championship off of Roman Reigns. Vince was all on board for the Roman Reigns double title reign, end quote. See, that right there is exactly what the problem is. And when I hear reports like this, it just makes me even more happy that Vince McMahon is gone, and he has absolutely no hand in anything WWE creative whatsoever. Cody Rhodes, before his injury, if Cody Rhodes had never gotten that injury, Cody Rhodes should have been in a prime spotlight. Cody Rhodes should have been number one. Cody Rhodes should have been the main event of SummerSlam this year with Roman Reigns. And Cody Rhodes should have beaten Roman Reigns at SummerSlam to win the undisputed WWE Universal Championship easily. There's no reason why Cody Rhodes shouldn't have been the guy if he never got injured. There's no reason why Cody Rhodes should not be the guy right now There's no reason why Cody Rhodes should not win the Royal Rumble. If anyone but Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble, and if anyone but Cody Rhodes takes that title off of Roman Reigns, it is a complete fucking flop. It is a missed opportunity. It is a waste of a world title run for Roman. Well, realistically, you can already look at it as a waste of a world title run, but it's a wasted opportunity. You may as well not even have a Royal Rumble this year if you are not going to give it to Cody Rhodes. There is no fucking reason why Cody Rhodes should not win the Men's Royal Rumble, and he should not take the title off of Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And the fact that we are sitting here talking about this under the Vince McMahon administration, Cody Rhodes wasn't even solidified to take the title off of Roman Reigns, just goes to show you how fucking terrible and how out of touch and how shitty the Vince McMahon administration really is. Cody Rhodes is the guy. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Again, cancel the Rumble in San Antonio if Cody Rhodes is not booked to win that Rumble. I don't give a fuck about Dwayne and Roman. And if you were going to do Dwayne and Roman, then you should have inevitably taken the title off of Drew McIntyre, or not Drew McIntyre. You should have put the title on Drew McIntyre and taken it off of Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle. If your plan was Dwayne and Roman at WrestleMania, then you need to get the fucking title off of Roman Reigns. Drew should have won it. Then he should have dropped it to Rollins at the Rumble. Then Rollins should have dropped it to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. And the 1-2 punch would have been Roman and Rock night 1, and then Rollins and Rhodes for the world title on night 2. That should have been the plan. Unless you're doing Cody and Roman at WrestleMania. If you're not doing Cody and Roman at WrestleMania, then Roman should have lost that title before. Roman should have lost that title at Clash at the Castle. No fucking reason why we need Roman and Rock for the championship. That ship has sailed. If you wanted to do Roman and Rock for the championship, it should have either been done at WrestleMania 38 or 2021 SummerSlam. You didn't do it, so the boat has sailed. Goodbye. We don't need that shit anymore. If you're doing Roman and Rock, get the fucking title off of Roman Reigns. Or if you want to, you could easily do Roman and Rock on night number 1. Roman Rock, night number 1, Roman wins and then defends it against Cody on night number 2. Simple. I don't understand what's so hard about it. Cody Rhodes needs to take that title from Roman Reigns. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if Triple H does not see that, and if Triple H doesn't realize that Roman Reigns still holding the championships is bad for fucking business as we speak, then you know what? Maybe Triple H isn't the guy to be running WWE right now. There, I said it. Triple H has been giving us some great fucking shows, really. But at the end of the day, he needs to learn to make the decisions that Vince McMahon would never fucking make. He can't play favorites. He cannot just push Roman Reigns because he's their biggest star. He cannot continue to push these social media stars like Logan Paul into world title matches. He needs to strike when the iron is hot, and he needs to make the right decision. The right decision? Cody Rhodes takes the world title off of Roman Reigns. End of story, period. You don't like it? Suck my dick. That's it. I just hope that he's not going to make the same mistake that Vince would have made. Ladies and gentlemen, those are your news, rumors, and reports for today. I hope you guys are having a fun time, and we are just getting started. We are going to get into the 5 weekly show reviews. We got Raw, Dynamite, SmackDown, Rampage, and Battle of the Belts Part 4. We had a really, really solid week of professional wrestling. A lot of great matches on all these shows, and we're going to start with Monday Night Raw. If you're asking me, it was kind of one of the weaker Monday Night Raws. That's not saying that it was shit, because this Monday Night Raw, this easily was better than everything that Vince McMahon did during his time running the WWE. But this was absolutely one of the weaker episodes under the Triple H administration. So Judgment Day kicked off the show. Balor talked about Edge's retirement and how he came back. He said, "You can only outrun fate for so long. I will act as the cruel hand of fate and show Edge that he doesn't belong in a ring that I'm in. I'm going to force Edge to utter those words, "I quit." So Priest said the Judgment Day will rise, but he didn't say it in his usual tone. He didn't go, "All rise." He didn't say that. Again, I'm severely disappointed. What is it going to take for Damian Priest to say, "All rise"? I want to hear that shit. That shit, it's very pleasing to my ears. So the Judgment Day will rise, especially over our opponents tonight. Ripley gave the microphone to Dominic, whispered something in his ear. Don't know what she whispered in his ear, but, I'll let your fantasies speak for yourself. So Dominic said, "I'll tell you who my daddy is. It's not Rey Mysterio. Jefe, I hate you. I hate you so much because you lied to me my entire life, and now I have a new family." So Balor said, "AJ, I could have ended your career last week, but I chose not to," said Balor. "I'm your friend. I'm not a bad guy, so don't make me do bad things." Styles and Mysterio came out, and we got a decent little brawl before we got the tag team match. And it was a pretty decent little match. Right here. Styles and Rey Mysterio, they were in control a little early on. Mysterio with a seated senton and a tilt-a-whirl head scissor. Priest came in, and Priest wore him down. Rey was dropped face first onto the ring apron. Rey made a tag to Styles with a nice sliding forearm. Pele kick to Priest. Balor sent Styles to the floor. Coming back from commercial, Styles was isolated. He tried to make the tag, but Rhea Ripley pulled Rey Mysterio down. She clotheslined Rey Mysterio behind the referee's back. Styles was distracted. Styles with a shotgun dropkick and a coup de grace. And Styles was pinned 1, 2, 3 by Finn Balor. Judgment Day continued to win, which is a great thing to see. They are awesome. Rey then tried to apologize to AJ Styles. Styles was not having it. Styles was angry. And he said it was all Rey's fault. He pushed him down. Rey walked to the back as the Judgment Day swarmed AJ Styles, and Finn punched AJ Styles over and over again, telling him to listen to him, and "I'm the only friend that you have." This segment ended with Priest delivering a South of Heaven to Mr. AJ Styles, and the Judgment Day stood tall. Now, what is going on here? Is Styles joining the Judgment Day? I don't think he's joining the Judgment Day. I think he's going to fake join the Judgment Day. I do believe that what we have here, we're going to get a little something along the lines of what we got with Bryan Danielson when Bryan joined the Wyatt family. If you remember, Bryan was feuding with the Wyatt family towards the end of 2013, right? He was feuding with the Wyatt family towards the end of 2013, and I remember we saw Bryan on the last Raw of 2013 pledge his allegiance to the Wyatt family, only 2 weeks later to get Bray Wyatt inside of a steel cage, shed the Wyatt family skin, and gave us one of the most epic moments in Monday Night Raw history, where the entire crowd was doing the yes chant with him and how over he was at that time. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that. Now, I don't think this is going to be as big as that. There's no way it's going to be as big as that. But, I really do believe that Styles is going to fake join the Judgment Day. He's going to fool them until he has Finn Balor alone. And maybe we could very well be looking at a potential Finn Balor versus AJ Styles match, maybe at Crown Jewel. And then maybe that could very well lead to the Survivor Series match, which could be the Judgment Day and Seth Rollins versus Edge, Styles, Rey Mysterio, Matt Riddle, and then if they want to do 5-on-5, potentially you can add Beth Phoenix in there. That's how I see it. If Styles joins, I don't see it happening any other way other than Styles fake joining, similar to how Bryan fake joined the Wyatt family, only to turn on them and then shed the Wyatt family skin and attack Bray Wyatt inside that steel cage. That's how I see it. Bobby Lashley, he took on Mustafa Ali, and more Mustafa Ali on television. It's always a good thing to see. So, Ali and Lashley, they actually matched up very well in this, and Ali, he did a very good job here. Lashley, he was throwing Ali across the ring with some shoulder tackles and a nice stalling suplex. Ali with some chops, a super kick, and a tornado DDT. Big tope suicida. Ali then got clotheslined onto the floor. Coming back from commercial, Bobby Lashley with a flatliner for a 2. Ali, this was crazy. He delivered a 450 splash onto Bobby Lashley's left arm. That looked fucking nasty. I'm telling you, after what happened with Cody and the fact that he tore a fucking pec, you could easily fucking tear a pec right there with fucking Bobby Lashley and Mustafa Ali. That looked fucking nasty. And I mean nasty. So Ali worked on the arm. Lashley with a big spine buster for a 2. Big TKO by Lashley. Ali still kicked out. Ali then slapped Bobby Lashley. Lashley became unhinged. He bounced off the post, did Ali. Lashley did it again. Lashley then tossed Ali into the timekeeper's area. Ali got back into the ring. Lashley then with a spear. He locked in the hurt lock. But Ali, he did not tap out. He did not tap out. He was not pinned. He passed out. Love that. I love that. This was very good. And Bobby Lashley, he and Ali, they did a very good job. Bobby actually made Ali look that much better, and Ali did the same for Bobby Lashley. Now, here's what we need. I don't want this to be a one-time thing. This should not be a one-off. This, and especially after what Seth Rollins did, and he stomped Ali, what I want to see Ali embroiled on television in a United States Championship program. I want to see another match between Lashley and Ali. And if anything, I want to see a match between Ali and Seth Rollins. Give me those 2 matches and put Ali on television more. That's what I want. Even if he's in a Dante Martin-esque role where he's putting on great matches but he's losing. That's what I want to see. Give me that. That's what we need. So, Rollins then attacked both men. Lashley was going to show Ali some respect. He was going to help Ali up, which I very much like. I very much love the fact that Bobby Lashley has been conducting himself so fucking great as United States champion. So he was going to show Ali respect. Rollins then came out of nowhere, curb stomped Bobby Lashley one time, and then curb stomped him a second time on the United States Championship before giving Ali a stomp on the floor. And this obviously led to Rollins and Riddle having a face-off. He did his usual shtick in the ring, coming back from commercial. He talked about his match on Sunday. He got a promo package for the fight pit before Riddle came out. Rollins mocked him. Riddle reminded Rollins that he's never been in a fight pit. Riddle then promised to kill Seth Rollins on Saturday, a.k.a. tonight. Riddle then mocked Rollins' theme song, and he said, in the end, after Saturday, everyone is going to be chanting, bro, and then the crowd started doing it. Rollins then said, Daniel Cormier is going to be in my corner, and he brought up Riddle not seeing his kids anymore. Rollins then dared Riddle to hit him and reminded him that child support is a lot these days. Riddle then reminded Rollins that, when was the last time you held a championship? The last time you fought for the world title, Roman choked your ass out. Oh, by the way, when did you main event WrestleMania last? Oh, that's right, you haven't. But your wife, Becky, has. What I'm sensing is a pattern. You've come up second to Roman, you've come up second to Becky, and on Saturday, you're going to come up second to me. All of a sudden, Daniel Cormier came up on the screen. He tried to talk some sense into those two and how they called him up to be the official referee, train hard and train smart. Rollins then knocked Riddle's hat off and Rollins walked away. Don't really know why we needed Daniel Cormier in there. He didn't add anything to the segment. It kind of felt flat, but the insults back and forth between Riddle and Rollins, really good stuff. Love the back and forth. Riddle and Rollins, this feud has been really, really good. The promos have been great. The brawls have been very fun. The match at Clash at the Castle was one of the best fucking matches of the year. Easily Matt Riddle's best match all fucking year. Great match. Rollins has been doing fantastic work this year, and I expect an absolute banger in the fight pit tonight. Miz was talking on the phone to his wife, Maurice. He said that nothing is going to ruin his birthday bash next week. All the while, Dexter Lumis spied on The Miz from behind his locker room door. So I'm not sure what's happening there, but if anything, I would love to see, I really would. I would love to see Dexter Lumis potentially as a member of the Wyatt Six. I think that Lumis as a member of the Wyatt Six, that would be great. And one of the QR codes, I believe this week, it read Gacy. Now, some people were connecting it to Joe Gacy. I don't think that's any connection to Joe Gacy. I actually think that it's a connection to John Wayne Gacy because he was a famous serial killer, right? And Dexter Lumis has this serial killer-esque gimmick. So that was my connection right there. I feel like the John Wayne Gacy connection is to Dexter Lumis because they're both kind of in the same category. They're fucking psychopaths. Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai. This was a decent match right here between these two. Obviously, they are two Triple H girls. They are two NXT girls, so they were bound to have a very good match. Candice was in control early with a springboard crossbody to the floor. We had LeRae with some kicks and chops, back elbow, and a leaping senton to the back. That got a 2 count. We had Dakota Kai coming back, and she fought out of an octopus stretch. Both women were in the corner. LeRae then with a middle rope German suplex. Damage control then got involved before Bayley stunned LeRae on the ropes. The ref didn't see it, and Kai rolled up LeRae to win the match. Decent match. Decent women's match, but shit ending. Now, I say it's a shit ending for this one reason. I understand that not everyone can remain undefeated, but why exactly are you giving Candice LeRae a loss within her second week on the main roster? I don't really understand that. Why was that necessary? You see, Johnny fought Otis right after this. Johnny Gargano has been undefeated on the main roster for around 2 months now. 2 months before he ran into Otis. So Johnny actually built a little momentum for himself. Plus, on top of that, Otis is a believable guy to take out Johnny Gargano. So I didn't mind Gargano losing, but I mean, you're giving Candice LeRae a loss within her second week on the main roster? If that was going to be the case, why did you even book the match? Why couldn't you have let LeRae gain a little bit more momentum? Probably gain herself a few more wins, and then you could have given her a loss. You could have given her a loss at the end of next month or at the beginning of December. Why did it have to be within her second fucking week? That's the problem that I have. I have no problem that Dakota Kai won because champions should not be losing in non-title matches. That I'm not complaining about. But I mean, Johnny Gargano was able to gain himself a decent amount of momentum before he was defeated by Otis. Why didn't you allow Candice to do the same? Doesn't make any sense. People wonder why women's wrestling is dead. Johnny Gargano, let's talk about Johnny Gargano and Otis. This was actually a fun little match. Johnny Gargano and Otis did very well together. And Otis, I'm liking Otis. I prefer the Heavy Machinery Otis more so to this Otis because Heavy Machinery Otis was a lot more fun. But I am very much enjoying the character and the in-ring work that Otis is doing right now. Otis and Braun Strowman had a very, very fun match a few weeks ago on SmackDown. And then we had this match with Gargano. So props to Otis. Props to Otis. So Otis was using his power against Gargano. Gargano then sent Otis into the post. Nice enziguri. Otis with a big exploder suplex. Vader bomb missed. Gargano with roundhouse kicks to the head. Otis with a big body drop. Big body block. Gargano with a DDT and a super kick. Otis kicked out. Tope Suicida sending Otis into the table. Gargano then started punching Austin Theory and then delivered a tornado DDT to Otis off the apron. Behind the referee's back, Theory then hit Gargano with a briefcase. The ref didn't see it. Otis then with the world's strongest slam and Otis gets the win for himself. Fun little match here with Gargano, and congrats to Otis. Otis is really building a nice, solid reputation for himself as a member of the Alpha Academy. So after that, the heels, Chad Gable, shush please. Chad Gable, Otis, and Austin Theory, they attacked Gargano. Braun Strowman then came out. This was actually fucking great right here. So Braun Strowman came out. Otis tried to stop him. Braun ran over Otis. Theory and Gable tried to run into the barricade and through the crowd. Theory escaped. Braun Strowman caught Chad Gable, and Chad Gable has this look on his face like he's about to shit his pants. Braun throws him back into the ring, and this is great. You just visualize this. So Otis is just coming to on the outside. Braun Strowman launches Chad Gable into orbit. He completely clears the top rope. Gable did not touch the top rope. He sends Gable over the top rope. Didn't touch the top rope. Gable goes flying through the air and crashes right onto Otis. And right there, that got a huge pop. So Strowman, right out of the gate, starting it hot. And this match with Braun Strowman and Chad Gable, it's actually very, very good for what it was. If anything, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but if anything, if you would have given these guys another 5 to 10 more minutes, these guys could have probably put on the match of the fucking night. These guys could have probably put on the match of the fucking night. They worked very well together. And Braun Strowman, you know what? Props to Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, this is the best that Braun Strowman has looked since his feud with Roman Reigns. He's not overexposed. He's not wrestling every week. And he's being paired with the right talent. This was actually very fun. So Gable sent Strowman into the post with a knee. He tried for the count out, but he didn't get it. Gable with a bridging German suplex. Yes, Chad Gable hit a bridging German suplex on Braun Strowman. Chad Gable is amazing. Strowman then tried to power Chad Gable up from an armbar. Gable with a kick to the knee, missile drop kick. He went for the moonsault. Braun Strowman moved, and Braun Strowman with a big boot. And then he powerbombed the shit out of Chad Gable. Chad Gable sold it beautifully, and Strowman gets the win. I got no issue with this. Props to Chad Gable and Braun Strowman. Props to Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman has been a very enjoyable act since he's come back. I have no problem with Braun Strowman whatsoever. Bayley and Bianca Belair, Raw Women's title contract signing. Corey Graves moderated it. Bayley mocked Bianca for being dumb. He said that the ladder is symbolic about how I literally had to climb up and up. And you are in my position now. I was you. Side ponytail in bright colors. Those signs for Bianca used to say Bayley. Those cheers were for me. They gave up on me. Bianca then told Bayley to shut up. She signed the contract. Bianca then told Bayley to never compare herself to her. She was pretending to be someone that she wasn't. This is the real you, and you became the real you. Congrats. It took you 1 year to come up with a plan. You think you're the only one to surprise me at SummerSlam? You like to plan? Well, you can plan on still calling me the Raw Women's Champion. Damage Control then attacked Bliss and Asuka backstage. Bianca went to help. Asuka's leg was crushed into a chair. And that was pretty much it. The crowd just didn't give a shit. They legitimately didn't give a shit. The crowd didn't give a shit. They didn't care. And the reason why they didn't care is because of the simple fact that women's wrestling, I've said it once, I'll say it again, women's wrestling's dead. The damage that Bruce and Vince did, it's going to take months, years to repair. And I don't even know what needs to be done. You can't just throw women's wrestling out there after everything that Bruce and Vince did and expect the crowd to care when they've been conditioned to think of women's wrestling as nothing more than a bathroom break. That's not me, but it's the majority of the IWC. I don't know what needs to happen. And if you're asking me, Bayley needs to go babyface. Bayley has surpassed her heel run. This heel run for Bayley just, it's not doing it. It's just not doing it. It really isn't. It's not doing it. Bayley needs to go babyface, and we need to have Sasha come back as a heel, win the Rumble, and we need to get babyface Bayley versus heel Sasha Banks. That's what we need. Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa, he took on Angelo Dawkins. Another decent little match, but really nothing over the top, nothing you're really going to sink your teeth into. Solo was in control of Dawkins with a nice Samoan drop for a 2. Solo with a belly-to-belly suplex. Dawkins was on the defense with a big running hip attack. Dawkins then mounted a comeback, leaping back elbow, spinning stinger splash, and a silencer for a 2. Jay and Sammy then got into an argument. Solo hit the super kick. The ref didn't see it, and obviously there's a little dissension in the bloodline. Dawkins then pounced Solo out of the ring. Dawkins with a tope con hero on the Usos. Big punch to Sammy. Solo was waiting in the wings, spinning heel kick and the spinning Solo, and Solo Sikoa wins it. Rightfully so. Solo Sikoa needed the win. Decent little match right here, but nothing too special in the end. Next week, we got a pretty solid show. We got Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano. We got the Bloodline returning next week. DX's 25-year celebration, and then Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins for the United States Championship. Now, I'm not sure why this match is taking place, but I can only chalk it up to the fact that maybe, now this is just me, if the feud between Rollins and Riddle is not ending tonight, I could see Rollins potentially winning the United States Championship, and maybe they end this feud at Crown Jewel with Matt Riddle beating Rollins once and for all to win the United States Championship. It's a possibility. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. It's a possibility. Main event. Main event sucked. Main event sucked. It was Alexa Bliss and Io Sky. Io Sky deserves a hell of a lot better than Alexa fucking Bliss. This match should not have main evented the show. This match was a complete waste of time. Alexa Bliss sucks, and Alexa Bliss needs to find a new profession because professional wrestling is not for her. Why do I say what I say? Because Alexa Bliss is fucking terrible at her job. So, Io Sky ended up winning this. Io Sky with an air raid crash and a moonsault for the win. Damage controlled and attacked. Asuka came out with a kendo stick, limping. Damage controlled and used the ladder on Asuka. They crushed Bliss in between a ladder. Bayley hit the Rose Plant on Bianca. Rose Plant on Bliss. Bayley then took the Raw Women's title and stood on top of the ladder victorious. Now, I'm not sure what exactly that means for tonight, but if you're asking me, no matter what happened on Monday, Bayley should be the winner tonight because Bayley right now is the best possible candidate to take that title from Bianca, and Bayley and Sasha being the women's title match for WrestleMania would be the best possible route to go. Lisa is in the chat. Lisa Wardlow. Not really sure why you're hungover, but I thought I told you to take a break with the alcohol, honey. Take a break with the alcohol, honey. Listen, if you want to get hungover from spending a night with Wardlow, I don't mind that, but I mean, you need to chill. You need to fucking chill on the the wine. Chill on the wine, okay? Just letting you know. But I appreciate everyone that's sticking with me. We're going to go over 4 more shows. We have 4 more shows to dissect. Please make sure if you haven't already done so, like the stream on my channel. Then go over to the Hardcore Sports channel and like the stream over there. Let us check what we are looking at right now. Right now on my channel, we got a solid 14 likes. That's what I like to see. Let's check over at the Hardcore Sports channel. What we doing over there? What are we doing over there? On the Hardcore Sports channel, we only have 6. You see, that's a problem. People, go over to the Hardcore Sports channel. The link is right in the description. Like the video over there and leave a comment. We need that shit up. We need to boost that shit up. Share out the Hardcore Sports channel. We need that shit to be cranking. Get that shit fucking cranking, people. Share it out. It is fucking vital. Let's go. Chop, chop. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite while we're at it as well, which was a fucking fantastic show. Fantastic show from start to finish. This honestly felt like a pay-per-view. This was fucking awesome. If anything, they really tried to outdo what they did at Grand Slam. So we had MJF and Wheeler Yuta kick off the show. This was fucking excellent. Excellent fucking match right here. Wheeler Yuta and MJF, they matched up so well together, and this is one thing that we need more of. We need more MJF on TV. More MJF wrestling in a match on TV. So MJF, he took over with an arm wringer. He threw Wheeler Yuta into the corner. MJF then with a gut wrench suplex on Yuta. Coming back from commercial, Yuta with a rope rebound into a German suplex barrage. MJF continued the work on the arm. MJF with a double stomp on the arm. Powerbomb onto the knee, which looked great, by the way. That looked awesome. Yuta kicked out. Yuta then with a barrage of strikes. And Enziguri connects. Back and forth roll-ups over and over. We had a double clothesline. Both men are down. Both men on top. We had a big Hurricane Rana off the middle rope. A big Tope Suicida. And then Yuta with MJF 70% across the ring. Huge fucking splash by Yuta. MJF kicked out. We had the hammer and anvil elbows. MJF all of a sudden with the salt of the earth. He stretched it back. And Yuta ended up tapping out. You know what I loved about this match? I love the fact that MJF won clean. He won clean. No handful of tights. No thumb to the eye. No dynamite diamond ring. No feet on the ropes. MJF won this match clean. And that right there shows you that he can get the job done on his own. He won clean. Good. More of that. Yuta, he then went for the handshake. MJF was hesitant. Now, some people are wondering what this means. Is this going to result in a babyface turn? Quite possibly, but it's not going to be yet. MJF is not turning babyface until next year. I cannot see it happening. But Jericho did mention something in an interview where he thought MJF could be a real big babyface because now the crowd is starting to hate him so much that they actually like him. I don't know about you, but, if he wants to experiment with that next year, I would be a little bit more open with it because he is great at what he does. He really is. And that babyface promo that he cut on Dynamite after All Out before Jon Moxley came out, he did a very good job. Really. So Lee Moriarty came out, he attacked. MJF was not too keen on it, and Stokely Hathaway then gave MJF the ring to hit Wheeler Yuta with it before William Regal came out. This was great. William Regal came out with the brass knuckles, and we get a face-off. The crowd was chanting, "You fucked up," and MJF walked away. I am telling you, when we get the verbal sparring match between William Regal and MJF, it is going to be fucking beautiful. He's not turning babyface yet. He is not turning babyface until next year. There is no way that you can push MJF as the babyface in a feud with Jon Moxley, who inevitably is the biggest babyface in the company, and he signed a 5-year extension with AEW, and rightfully so, because Jon Moxley right now is the MVP of AEW, and he is ultimately going to go down as a better performer in AEW and a better run in AEW than he was in WWE. You don't like it? Again, you can suck my dick. Excellent match to start the show. Jay Lethal versus Darby Allin. This was a very good match between these two. More Jay Lethal, more Darby Allin on my TV. Darby Allin is definitely someone who I can see as a potential challenger for either Pac or Wardlow down the line. I would definitely not mind that at all. So Darby, with some nice counters, same thing with Lethal. Lethal was in control. Coming back from commercial, Lethal crunched Darby's leg onto the ropes. Lethal and Darby then were on the top. We had an avalanche dragon screw from the top, which looked fucking beast. Then the figure 4. Darby just got to the ropes. Darby, he dodged the Lethal injection by flipping Lethal over himself in a nasty back body drop. Lethal landed right on his head. Darby with a code red for a 2. Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh came out. Lethal told them to go to the back. We had some more back and forth counters, which resulted in Darby locking in the Last Supper, and he gets the win. So Darby's been on a nice winning streak for himself. He won against the House of Black twice. He got a victory over Matt Hardy. He got a victory over Jay Lethal. Darby Allin, I think Darby Allin could very well be positioned for a TNT title match, maybe an All-Atlantic title match, or maybe we could see Darby Allin as MJF's first challenger after MJF inevitably beats Jon Moxley. I mean, that's a possibility. I'm just throwing it out there. We'll see. So, after that, Darby was trying to get Lethal's attention, making sure that he was focusing on him and not the goons on the outside. He then offered the handshake to Lethal, and Lethal inevitably shook his hand. Now, here's what I am concerned about. I am not concerned about a Jay Lethal babyface run because I think that would be just fine. It could be fine, no problem, Jay Lethal babyface run. What I'm concerned about is what happens with Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh. Because the pairing with Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh, it works actually pretty fine with Jay Lethal, with Sanjay Dutt as the mouthpiece and Satnam Singh as the heavy for Jay Lethal. Satnam Singh isn't doing too bad for himself. So if Lethal breaks away from them and goes babyface, I'm not sure what's going to happen to them. Because if anything, they're looking like two waste of space. There's no reason why we need Lethal hanging around with Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt if Lethal's going to go babyface. So are they going bye-bye? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Wardlow and Brian Cage for the TNT Championship. This was a great fucking match. And Wardlow continuing his momentum. Really good stuff right here. More Brian Cage on TV as well. This was fucking awesome right here. Cage, he went right on the attack. Wardlow came back with some punches. Both men were down. Both men wouldn't go down. Wardlow, he delivered a Hurricane Rana on Brian Cage. Yes, Wardlow got up for a Hurricane Rana. So he's channeling his inner Johnny Gargano. Brian Cage then with a head scissor. Brian Cage went for a 619. He went for a 619, and he would have connected, but Wardlow stopped him and delivered a World's Strongest Slam. World's Strongest Slam by Wardlow. Brian Cage came back with a big sit-out Alabama Slam. Coming back from commercial, Wardlow, I didn't know what the fuck I was watching here. Wardlow with a fucking whisper in the wind. A whisper in the wind on Brian Cage. So we got shades of Rey Mysterio in this. We got shades of Mark Henry. And we got shades of Jeff Hardy in this. Unbelievable. Wardlow with a fucking whisper in the wind on Brian Cage. Never thought I'd see the day. Wardlow then with a big German suplex barrage and a big belly-to-belly. Cage then cut down Wardlow. He delivered a big deadlift superplex for a 2. Wardlow with a spine buster for a 2. Cage with an F5. Wardlow kicked out. Wardlow then with 2 headbutts, a wicked fucking lariat, and then we got the powerbomb symphony, 4 powerbombs, and Wardlow retains in a great match. Afterwards, the Embassy interrupted, allowing Joe to come out and FTR to assist. The crowd erupted for FTR, and we got more FTR on Friday's Battle of the Belts show. They retained the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles over the Gates of Agony. This was a great match. More of this, please. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Maybe we lead to a 6-man tag for all the gold, FTR and Wardlow, or maybe we're leading to Samoa Joe and Brian Cage. That would be fucking awesome. I think that could be great. Give me Samoa Joe and Brian Cage. You can have Brian Cage win the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. I got no issue with that. Let's see what else we can do. The ladies had a very nice showcase, and you can definitely start to see the change little by little in the women's division. The ladies had a very nice 6-woman tag team match here. It was Toni Storm, Athena, and Willow Nightingale versus Serena Deeb, Penelope Ford and Jamie Hayter. So Ford and Athena had a nice back and forth. Deeb was over in this match, very much over. Athena came in with a huge crossbody. Storm came off the hot tag. Some nice triple team action by the baby faces on Deeb. Deeb with a chop block to the leg of Toni Storm, and she took over. Coming back from commercial, Storm was isolated. Deeb with a suplex Muda lock combination. Really nice stuff right there. Serena Deeb is fucking great. I love the fact that she's being featured on Dynamite every week. So Storm was isolated before she inevitably made the tag to Willow. Willow lit up Jamie Hayter with a nice spine buster before Deeb saved it. Deeb then tagged in and wore down Willow. Willow then pounced the shit out of Jamie Hayter. Ford came in with a spin kick. We had a double knees by Athena, a spear by Deeb. Storm then took out Deeb. Backbreaker by Hayter. Penelope Ford, she's been doing some pretty decent work here, I gotta say. Penelope Ford did a Matrix back bridge, and then she popped up into a cutter, which looked great. Willow then took over, and after she kicked out of the cutter, she delivered the Dr. Bomb for the win, and Willow gets the win for her team. Glad to see Willow getting some shine. This was a very good tag team match. Afterwards, Britt Baker and Saraya got into it, and we got a big brawl. We had a super kick to Rebel by Saraya, which I have a feeling this will inevitably lead to Saraya and Athena versus Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. The Acclaimed, top of the chain, but I bet you know the name. It was National Scissoring Day, which I will be getting the Scissor Me Daddy Ass shirt sooner rather than later. So I'm going to be scissoring a lot of people. Scissoring is a hand gesture, people. Get your mind out of the gutter. Which, by the way, I actually spoke to someone and they said that that is a complete lie. There's no such thing as scissoring when it comes to, the other side of women, lesbianist and stuff like that. But it's not real. It's not real. It's a hand gesture, so get your mind out of the gutter. Max Caster with a great rap as always. The "Oh, Scissor Me Daddy" chants started. Bowens talked about the Acclaimed being the most popular team and the best homegrown team in AEW history. I have to agree. AEW stands for Acclaimed Every Wednesday. Anthony Bowens then dubbed himself the Sultan of Scissor. National Scissoring Day was trending all day. Everyone loves the Acclaimed. Billy Gunn then said, "This is Daddy Ass's house," and he presented the Acclaimed with the scissors to the city. The scissors to the city. Max Caster then, he was preaching like he was in church, and he said, "Let's offer each other a sign of peace. Peace be with you." And they were scissoring each other, offering each other a sign of peace. Caster then talked about his father, Rich Caster, winning the Super Bowl 40 years ago and how everyone loves the Acclaimed. Let's offer a bipartisan scissor to unite the country. All of a sudden, Swerve came out, and Swerve just being a fucking douche as oh. I love the way that Swerve carries himself. Swerve as a heel. Swerve carries himself so fucking well. More Swerve, please. So he goes, "This is the most idiotic thing I've ever seen. Now kids can go to school and get suspended again for something that Billy Gunn did. If it wasn't for Billy, Swerve and Our Glory would still be the tag team champions. Next week, it's Daddy Ass versus Swerve." Mark Sterling then came out and he told everyone, he said, "I told you so. The Acclaim needs me. Let's join together and let me represent you in your fight with Swerve." Acclaimed and Billy then took out Mr. Sterling with a scissoring leg drop, and we get a three-way scissor off. Great segment. Great segment. Love me some National Scissoring Day. Let's all start scissoring our fellow brothers and sisters, says the final hoss right here. I offer everyone a sign of peace. This was great. The Acclaimed are fantastic, and the Acclaimed are already off to a phenomenal start as the tag team champions. It's going to be a great thing. We had Rush, El Toro Blanco versus Adam Page. This was fun. I wish it could have gone a little longer, but it was fun. So we got straight into the action with some stiff chops. Rush then choked out Page with some cable wire. Coming back from commercial, Page with a fallaway slam. Page then with a slingshot Pescado and a Death Valley driver for a 2. Rush and Page then traded strikes back and forth. We had a jackknife covered by Page for a 2. Rush then with a knee and a straitjacket pile driver for a 2. Rush then had a little blood from his nose. Page came back with a wicked fucking lariat. And then we got a buckshot lariat, and Page gets the win over Rush. I would have loved to see him go a little bit longer, but that's just me. Private Party then came out before Jon Moxley came out to stand alone. He took the mic and he said, I've been waiting 3 years for this. 3 years of studying you because I know this was coming. We've beaten almost everyone there is to beat here in AEW except each other. There can only be one last man standing in AEW. I love how they're doing this. Even though this is just an interim match until Moxley gets to MJF, I love the fact that they are building this match up the way that they are. I really do. This is a match that I'm very much looking for. I think these two are going to put on potentially a match of the year fucking candidate. I think these two are going to be absolutely on fire come Tuesday Night Dynamite. I'm loving this shit. So he goes, 13 days, cowboy. I'm going to break your face. I will choke you. And you're in the way of me being the true top guy in AEW. And when that bell rings, I ain't got any goddamn respect for anything. So Moxley was about to walk away, and Page goes, wait. If you've been waiting so long for this, where the hell are you going right now? Page said, you're a sweet lad, but your mouth always gets you in trouble. I'll let you off the hook this once. You got 13 days. Watch your mouth. Now, I'm not sure if that's a shot at Adam Page for what he said about CM Punk, but I mean, I'm loving this. I'm loving this shit. I like the back and forth. I like the dynamic. I like the vibe. These two are going to tear the house down. Willow Nightingale and Jade Cargill, they were set for Battle of the Belts and the TBS Championship, which we will talk about. Luchasaurus took on Fuego del Sol. He just destroyed him with a cutthroat slam. Jungle Boy then came out and bashed Luchasaurus with a chair. He then took the mic. He goes, you're my best friend, and you chose him. You broke my heart. Now I'm going to break your fingers, your nose, your legs. I'm going to break you piece by piece before I break you. You pick the time and the place, and I will be ready. Christian Cage then took the mic, and he said that the time and the place is next Wednesday in my hometown of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So that's going to be a great match, but it should not end any other way other than Luchasaurus getting the win. You give the win to Luchasaurus, and then you build towards Luchasaurus and Wardlow for the TNT Championship. And I don't know if Lisa is listening to this, but I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't mind if Luchasaurus beats Wardlow for the TNT Championship. Oh, no, I didn't say anything. Anyway. Next week's looking like a big show. We got Sheeta and Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. We also got Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Swerve versus Daddy Ass. And Jericho and Bryan for the Ring of Honor World Title next week. Main event was Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia. I already talked about the Sammy Guevara incident. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, just go back to the beginning of the stream. Crowd was chanting, fuck you, Sammy, rightfully so, because Sammy Guevara, he's been acting like a fucking douche as of lately. Bryan then came in, big tope suicide on Jericho, big missile dropkick on Sammy. Coming back from commercial, Jericho then tagged in after Sammy gave Bryan an avalanche Spanish fly. Bryan then tagged in Garcia, tagged to Jericho. Sammy got punched down. We got a hockey fight. The crowd was loving it. Sharpshooter by Garcia. Guevara with a super kick. Fosbury flop on Bryan. Jericho with a lion salt, but Garcia got the knees up. Tag to Sammy. We had a double label lock by Garcia and Bryan. By the way, Dynamite went over 15 minutes past 10, which I love, by the way. Crowd was going nuts. We had hammer and anvil elbows, super kicks on Guevara, Spanish fly on Bryan. Garcia with a pile driver. Jericho saved it. Bryan with a flying knee, big boot, and a lariat by Garcia to Sammy. Suplex by Jericho to Bryan through the announce table. Sammy with a go to hospital. Sammy went up top. Shooting star press, but Garcia got the knees up. Sharpshooter was locked in. Jericho then behind the referee's back hit Garcia with the Ring of Honor World title, just desecrating all over the Ring of Honor legacy. Guevara then pinned it. Foolishly, they gave Guevara the win, regardless of whether this was always the plan or not. Very good match. Shit outcome. No reason why we needed that at all. Seriously, no reason why we needed that at all. I don't know why. It was stupid. It was just beyond retarded. I really don't know what the deal is here, but Guevara needs to get off of TV for a little bit, and Tony Khan needs to have a serious fucking conversation with Sammy Guevara, really. Because this shit, it ain't flying. It isn't. I'm sorry. SmackDown was, could have been better. The one thing that I just fucking hated about SmackDown is the fact that so many matches were just going way too quick. Why did we need 4 3-minute matches on the show? Legitimately. Solo Sikoa and Ricochet, they were given only 7 minutes. Why didn't they go longer? Why did we need a 3-minute tag team match with Xia Li, Sonya Deville, and Shotzi and Raquel? Why did we need a 8-minute 6-man tag match with the Usos losing to the New Day and Braun Strowman? Why did we need that shit? Stupid. Triple H kicked off the show. The one thing that I loved most about the show, minus what I'll get into later, we had a return of a certain superstar. One thing I liked about the show is Triple H, he kicked off the show and he goes, "There'll come a time where you believe everything is finished, but that is just the beginning. Welcome to the season premiere of Friday Night SmackDown." Listen to what he said. He goes, "There'll come a time where you believe everything is finished, but that is just the beginning." If that is not a fucking statement saying to everyone, yeah, I thought I was done, but then my father fucked up because he's a perverted fucking douche. And now I'm back, motherfucker. That right there was a fucking statement right there. So the Bloodline, they kicked off the show. Sammy dancing like an idiot in the best possible way. Roman then said, "Worcester, Mass," or Worcester, Mass. "Worcester, Mass, acknowledge me." All of a sudden, Logan Paul then came out. Paul then was very stern-faced. He stood on the apron. Roman assured Logan that this is his show and you're my guest. This is a safe place, so come on in here. Roman then said, Logan, they were telling Logan that he sucks. Roman goes, "Don't worry, Logan. They told me that years ago, and now I'm the greatest of all time." So that was actually a nice line by Roman. Heyman then lectured Logan Paul, dropping his pearls of wisdom. Not really sure that's the best terminology right there. I've never heard someone say pearls of wisdom. So he goes, "You're this generation's Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper." He goes, "Jordan Peterson wouldn't have the balls to fight the tribal chief. Andrew Tate, Ben Shapiro, the less said about them, the better. They wouldn't have the balls to fight Roman." He said, "Paul, we will be offering you a spoiler." Because Logan Paul is not going to win the title. So Paul goes, "No, I can't argue with that. You really are a wise man, but do you mean I'm getting smashed by the tribal chief Roman or the tribal chief Jey Uso?" Now, I'm not really sure what happened here. I'm guessing because Jey Uso's been a hothead. Because he's been a hothead as of lately. So Jey Jay and Roman, they stood face to face. Crowd was chanting for Uso. Roman was then interrupted by Sammy. The crowd fucking popped for Sammy. Sammy is doing phenomenal work. Sammy is great. So Sammy then said, look, Jay did nothing wrong. The only person doing something wrong is this wannabe social media star over here. Sammy said Paul will be smashed. Sammy called Paul a giant number 2. A giant number 2. I can think of a lot of people that are giant number 2s. Grimm's Toy Show is a giant number 2. He's a giant number 2. Brian Zane is a giant number 2. Joe Biden is a giant number 2. Vince McMahon is a giant number 2. Alexa Bliss is a giant number 2. Anyone that says DJ Storms is not the greatest of all the times is a giant number 2, because let's be real, I'm a fucking god. I can think of a lot of number 2s. I'm going to start using them. So he goes, we will still be here because we the ones. Sammy is doing the best. Sammy is doing the best work of his entire main roster run. I hate heel Sami Zayn, but he's almost morphed into like an underdog type of babyface, so to speak. He's getting the biggest reactions out of everyone in the bloodline, even over Roman. Sami Zayn is great. Sami Zayn is phenomenal at what he does. Sammy and Jay carried the segment. If Sammy and Jay were not here, this segment would have absolutely fucking sucked. Sammy and Jay, and that storyline right there, it's the best storyline in pro wrestling right now. So from there, we go into a match with Solo Sikoa and Ricochet. Nothing crazy, nothing over the top, just another win for Solo Sikoa. I will give props to Ricochet, though. So Ricochet, he was in early control with a springboard moonsault and a tope suicida. Ricochet got caught with a right hand by Solo. He sold the ever-living shit out of this, rolling his neck over the fucking apron. Brutal. So coming back from commercial, Ricochet tried to mount the comeback. Big Hurricane Rana and a nice V-trigger. A super kick as well. Nice spin kick to the head. Shooting star press. Solo then caught Ricochet off the shooting star press into a spinning Solo, and Solo gets the win as expected. Nothing over the top. Hit Row. And if you didn't know, now you know. Oh, trust me, people know now because we got a new faction on SmackDown. So Hit Row was making their entrance. Out of nowhere, these guys in masks were attacking them, and I knew exactly who they were. Zelina Vega then came out of nowhere, delivered a Hurricane Rana to B-Fab. They unmasked, revealed to be Legado del Fantasma. Santos Escobar. He runs the bingo. Don't even know what that means, but it sounds cool, so he runs the bingo. Santos Escobar took the mic and he said, "We are Legado del Fantasma. SmackDown is ours. Be safe." I love it. I fucking love it. Absolutely love it. And a feud with Hit Row is perfect. You know why? Hit Row's not going to be winning the titles anytime soon. Hit Row right now is in a position where they're just getting their feet wet. So Hit Row is not in a position where they're going to be at the top of their game right now. And I have no problem with it. Hit Row has been just fine in the role that they've been in. Top Dollar and Ashante the Adonis, they haven't been half bad in the few spurts that we've seen them. But they're not going to be winning tag team gold anytime soon. So why do we need to still keep them undefeated? I have Legado del Fantasma feud with them. You could get a lot of interesting matches out of that little program right there. I'd love to see Ashante the Adonis and Santos Escobar mix it up one-on-one. I think that would be great. I got no issue with that. Legado del Fantasma is on SmackDown. Excellent. This adds another solid tag team, and this adds another excellent addition to the mid-card with Santos Escobar now in a position where he could very well be fighting for the Intercontinental title. Give me Santos and Gunther. Gunther, you've seen what Gunther could do with Tyler Bate. You've seen what he could do with a lot of the smaller guys like a Jordan Devlin, like a Pete Dunne. Give me Santos and Gunther. Let me see what those two guys can do. Really. We had a White Rabbit video package. The White Rabbit is indeed coming tonight at Extreme Rules, so keep your eyes peeled for tonight. Hula Grim is also in the chat. Hula Grim, you're damn fucking right. You're the real Grim. Hula Grim is my guy over here, so shout out to Hula Grim. Xia Li and Sonya Deville versus Shotzi and Raquel. Not really sure why this was on the show. Not really sure why this was on the show, but it was on the show. This was quick, nothing important. We had the Tejana Bomb and Raquel and Shotzi win. I'm assuming we're probably going to get these two fighting Dakota Kai and Io Sky for the women's tag team titles, and then that should inevitably lead to the War Games match. It is what it is. Karrion Kross, this was actually pretty awesome right here. Karrion Kross was making his entrance, he was doing his thing, and then all of a sudden, like the fucking Undertaker rising from the grave, like Keith Lee used to do. Keith Lee used to do this in WWE. Drew McIntyre just rose up from behind Kross with this look like he's gonna rip his fucking head off. Karrion Kross is like, something feels wrong. So he turns around, he gets he gets clotheslined to fucking hell. Drew McIntyre takes a strap and starts beating the shit out of Kross. Officials then came out to separate them. Drew fought them off. Kross took the strap, sent Drew into the post, and then whipped Drew with the strap about 10 times. Drew's back was already all red. These two are going to absolutely beat the shit out of it. They could end up stealing the show tonight. For all we know, they could end up stealing the show tonight when it's all said and done. These two are great. And I'm going to love every minute of these two beating the ever-living shit out of each other. It's going to be good. So the Usos and Sami Zayn, they took on the New Day and a mystery partner. Mystery partner was indeed Braun Strowman. Don't know why this was on the show. Again, just like the women's tag team match. So the babyfaces were in control, coming back from commercial. Jay and Sammy were bickering. Strowman came in, and Strowman, he was lighting up Jimmy. He looked pretty decent here, did Braun Strowman. Strowman with a big boot, and then some corner avalanches. Very nice chokes. And Braun Strowman actually has a pretty nice choke slam. Strowman then bulldozed Jay and Sammy, and then we had the New Day hitting Daybreak. And that was pretty much it. Champions lose on TV. How fucking original. Even under the Triple H administration, we still get champions losing week in and week out. How many times have champions lost on AEW television in the last 3 years? I can only count about maybe 8 or 9 times in 1,000 days. Think about that. 3 years, 1,000 days plus 1,000 days. And AEW's only pinned their champions in non-title matches about 8 or 9 times. We saw that 8 or 9 times within 2 months under WWE's watch, whether it's Triple H or whether it's Vince McMahon. Don't understand why we need to see that. That needs to stop. This was my favorite part of the show for me. This was my personal favorite part of the show. Max Dupree was attacking the Maximum Male Models before Maxine Dupree came in, and he said, "Do not call me that name. I gave you gold, and you turned it into trash. You know who I am? I'll tell you exactly who I am. I'm L.A. Knight. Yeah. L.A. fucking Knight is back, and I will say yeah to that." Holy shit, that was fucking, I was getting goosebumps. When he stole my hand gesture, but I give him the permission to steal my hand gesture. DJ Storms gives the permission to L.A. Knight to steal his fucking jester and gimmick. I don't give a shit, but L.A. Knight, baby, he's fucking back, and he's fighting Mansoor. Still has that stupid name, Mansoor. He's fighting Mansoor next week. And L.A. Knight, give me L.A. Knight as Intercontinental Champion And I will say, yeah, to that. Fucking love it. Love me some LA Knight. Next week, we also got Kofi Kingston and Sami Zayn. So we should have a solid lineup for SmackDown next week. Main event. This was a very good match. Excellent match between Sheamus and Gunther. Not better than their match at Clash at the Castle. I don't know what the fuck happened towards the end of this match, but we'll talk about it. So Sheamus and Gunther went right after each other. Sheamus was in control. Sheamus with a big slam. Gunther and Sheamus then were on the apron. Gunther chopped the shit out of him and sent him into the post. They went strike for strike, chop for chop. Coming back from commercial, Gunther with a sleeper. Sheamus then with elbows. Sheamus with the 10 beats of the Baldwin and all 3 ropes. He did it on all 3 ropes. So Gunther got 30 beats of the Baldwin. Gunther then with a white noise from the middle rope, which looked fucking great. Or excuse me, Sheamus with a white noise from the middle rope, not Gunther. Gunther took it. So Gunther kicked out. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." Gunther with a drop kick and a power bomb, but Sheamus kicked out. Gunther then with a splash to the back of Sheamus for a 2. Sheamus got out of it again. Now I'm actually thinking that Sheamus was actually going to win the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I'm not sure what happened here, but Sheamus got up, hit the Irish Curse backbreaker, and then the Cloverleaf. Now, I'm not sure what happened here. Gunther looked like he tapped the mat. But some people are saying that for a tap out, it's 3 tap outs. It needs to go 1, 2, 3. And some people are saying that Gunther only tapped out twice. I'm not really sure what happened there, but we went 1, 2. And that was kind of classified as a tap out. Not really sure that that was legit or not. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but it legitimately felt like Sheamus was legitimately fucked out of the Intercontinental title. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but I mean, if you're asking me, the best possible thing to do here, we're going to have to get a Sheamus versus Gunther 3. We're going to have to get a Sheamus versus Gunther 3, and Gunther's going to have to drop that title to Sheamus. I don't know. I don't know what exactly happened here, but very, very confusing, very, very clunky towards the ending there. Still an excellent match, but I don't know what exactly happened. But people are saying that 3 taps is a tap out, and we only had 2. So Imperium came out. The Brawling Brutes came out too, and we got a brawl. We had a punt kick by Sheamus. We had Ludwig Kaiser giving Gunther a shillelagh. And we had a shillelagh shot to the face. Gunther retains. Excellent match. Don't know what the fuck happened, but again, that's what I'm chalking it up to. Now, I've never heard this fucking rule. I have never heard the rule of, oh, it needs to be 3 taps. And Gunther only tapped out twice. Now, I don't know. Maybe he was trying to reach for the ropes. I don't know what they're going to do it as, but it really did seem like a botch. Not the best SmackDown. Not bad, but not as good as we usually see SmackDown. Raw and SmackDown were not as up to par as they have been recently. NXT sucks as a whole, but I'm not really too concerned because I'm very much looking forward to Extreme Rules tonight. I'm loving this. I'm loving Extreme Rules tonight. Good stuff. Good stuff for Extreme Rules tonight. Let me know your predictions as well. We got 2 more shows to go over, and then we can get the hell on out of here. So far, we are an hour and 48 minutes into the stream. Obviously, the LFU is rocking and rolling. Saturdays are just my day, people. Saturdays are just my fucking day. There are no other days other than Saturdays. Saturdays are owned by yours truly, and don't you forget it. But why don't we get into what we are going to get into right now? We got AEW Rampage and Battle of the Belts to get into. Rampage. Better than usual. Rampage was pretty solid. I would say that it was just a little bit better than last week's Rampage. We got some great wrestling on Rampage. We got the Blackpool Combat Club starting off the show against Roosh and Private Party. This was very fun. This went about 10 minutes, and it was very fun. I like the fact that they are showcasing the Blackpool Combat Club as a trio. And if you're asking me, where is Jon Moxley going to fit in after he inevitably drops the World Championship to MJF? If you're asking me, I don't know about you, but I'm looking down the barrel of the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Death Triangle for the Trios Championships. I'm looking at Moxley or Bryan, Claudio, and Yuta. One of those trios in the Blackpool Combat Club taking on the Death Triangle and the Blackpool Combat Club winning the Trios Championships. That's what I'm looking at. I don't know about you, but I'd say that's 2 fucking thumbs up for me. Blackpool Combat Club should be the team to take the titles off of Death Triangle. Let me know what you guys think right there. So Mark Quinn took out Claudio early on. Yuta came in, mixed it up with Cassidy. They had a nice back and forth. Roosh and Moxley mixed it up. I remember they put on a banger over the summer. So coming out from commercial, Moxley was isolated before he tagged in Claudio. Claudio with the big uppercuts to Cassidy. Claudio with an airplane spin. This was great. He had Mark Quinn on his shoulders, and he had Orange Cassidy. He had Isaiah Cassidy in a swing position, and Mark Quinn was on his shoulders, and he did an airplane spin and a giant swing to Private Party simultaneously. That popped the crowd. Great stuff right there. Moxley came in with a cutter on Roosh. Crossbody by Yuta on Cassidy. Tag to Yuta. Big splash, but Roosh saved it. Moxley then came in with a tope suicida on Roosh. Big uppercut by Claudio on Cassidy. And then Yuta with a bicep slice submission hold. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but William Regal pointed it out on commentary that it was a bicep slice. And Yuta got the tap out win. Very fun match. I'm happy to see that they're pushing Yuta even in defeat after his match with MJF. Yuta has had a really good year, and I think that Yuta is really going to break out a lot in 2023 as well. I think 2023 Yuta could very well be in the hunt for the All-Atlantic Championship. I'm really looking forward to that, so keep your eye on that. But if you're asking me who should take the title off of the Death Triangle, I'm looking down the barrel of Blackpool Combat Club. Blackpool Combat Club and Death Triangle. Though that's your Trios Championship match to take the titles off of Death Triangle. That's me. We had the Varsity Blondes. They took on Tony Nese and Josh Woods. Tony Nese and Josh Woods, they dispatched of them very quickly. Arn Anderson was in the back, and he did not look very happy. Not really sure where that's leading to. So Sterling took the mic, and he trashed the Blondes. He trademarked the term varsity, and you are looking at the varsity athletes. He talked about being crotched by the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed then came out, a great rap as always, saying, we're here to make the show more watchable. Nice little burn right there by Max Caster. It looks like we could be looking at the varsity athletes now versus the Acclaimed for the tag titles at some point. I don't mind that. I don't necessarily mind that. They actually put on Tony Nese and Josh Woods actually put on a very good match with Keith Lee and Swerve back on August 5th, I believe it was. I believe it was August 5th. It was August 5th, and we had a live Rampage, and it was a no DQ match. So Tony Nese and Josh Woods, they can hold themselves very good against a top-tier tag team. They did it with Swerve in Our Glory. I'd say give them a chance. There's really not much to invest in right now, but I do think that they could be a solid little act. Plus, it gives both men something to do because neither of these two men are really going anywhere as singles competitors. There's just too many people ahead of them. But I don't necessarily mind this as an interim feud for the Acclaimed. I like the fact that we're getting new tag teams in there, like Tony Nese and Josh Woods, like, Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade. I have no problem with that. We'll see what happens. But I don't really know why this match was on the show if it was only going to last about, 2 minutes? Kind of stupid. We had Anna Jay. Jungle Boy is a very, very lucky guy. Anna Jay and Ty Conti, they took on Sky Blue and Madison Rayne. This was a tag team match. This was actually a lot better than I expected. I thought this was going to be a disaster, but this actually turned out to be a pretty decent little match. So props to the two women. Props to the two women. So we had the heels taking over. Ty Conti with a punt kick on Sky Blue. Coming back from commercial, we had a tag to Madison Rayne. Madison Rayne with some chops, an enziguri, and a Northern Lights suplex for a 2. We had a tag to Sky Blue. Sky Blue has been mixing it up a lot lately. So I want to give some props to Sky Blue. She was terrible a year ago. Sky Blue sucked a year ago. But you have clearly seen the work that she's been doing and everything that she has been putting into her craft. So props to Sky Blue. I will give my credit where credit's due. Ty Conti with a very nice Gotch-style pile driver on Sky Blue. Madison Rayne with a decent-looking crucifix bomb. And then Anna Jay with a gory bomb. Both teams are down. All 4 women are down. The crowd actually gave them a nice little applause. We had Jay hitting the J kick. Super kick by Sky Blue. We had a knee strike by Ty Conti into the Queen Slayer, and Sky Blue ended up tapping out, and the Jericho Appreciation Society ended up getting the win here. Decent little match, but I'm just going to say this. If you were going to do this match, I don't understand why you needed to do a tag team match before this. I don't understand why we needed the Varsity Blondes getting squashed on the show. If anything, you should have given more time to the opening match. It would have helped the show flow a lot better. Just pointing it out there. We had a very nice little heel promo by Swerve on Billy Gunn. I am loving heel Swerve. Heel Swerve is, he kind of reminds me of me a little bit. Just the way that he carries himself, really nicely done. I like it. I very much like it. So we had the Dark Order. We had the Dark Order mixing it up. Dark Order mixed it up with Death Triangle. This was for the AEW World Trios Championships. This was an excellent match. You know what was the one takeaway I took from both AEW shows? But both AEW shows, both Rampage and Battle of the Belts were pretty solid. But the one thing I took away from it is Pac. If you guys do not know how good Pac is, now you fucking know. Now you fucking know. So, Dark Order and Death Triangle. Excellent match. Excellent match for the AEW World Trios Championships. If you want to go back and rewatch it, I would highly encourage you to go back and rewatch it. It was awesome. So the action started out very fast-paced. The Dark Order pancaked Rey Fenix. Phoenix tagged in Penta. Super kick on Reynolds. Silver and Reynolds with double drop kicks to Penta. Coming back from commercial, we had Phoenix being isolated. He tagged in Penta, diving crossbody onto all 3 members of the Dark Order. Really nice stuff. We had a backstabber on Reynolds, tagged to Pac. So Pac's getting in this match, and this was his first of 2 matches. By the way, both shows were live. We had some stiff kicks to Reynolds, a snap German suplex for a 2, more stiff kicks. We had Pac with a suplex to Reynolds on the floor. Coming back from a second commercial, this was the final commercial of the match. Reynolds eventually got the tag to 10. 10 with a big lariat on Phoenix, back body drop on Penta, and a spine buster on Phoenix. Death Triangle then with risky business, but 10 stayed alive. Tag to John Silver. So the Meat Man came in. Johnny Hungy came in. We had a suplex by Silver. he got back up and delivered some nice kicks and a deadlift brainbuster on Pac, which looked beautiful. Dark Order then hit the Pendulum Bomb, which is a very nice looking move. Pendulum Bomb. Phoenix stayed alive. Big combinations with discus lariats. Death Triangle still stayed alive. All of a sudden, Jose, the assistant, came out. He distracted 10 and John Silver. Roosh came up from behind the referee's back and gave Pac the in-ring hammer, the ring bell hammer. Ref didn't see it. Phoenix then took out Silver and 10 on the outside. Pac hit Reynolds with the hammer, and then Pac locked in the brutalizer, and Death Triangle retains in what was an excellent trios match. Excellent first title defense for Death Triangle and an excellent showcase for the Dark Order. This was awesome. This and the match that happened after this were the two highlights of both shows for me. So Pac, right after this, he's going into Battle of the Belts 4, and he goes right into his All-Atlantic title defense against Trent Beretta. And this, I mean, if you did not know how good Pac was, now you fucking know. The guy went in there, and he went 40 minutes across 2 shows, 2 matches, 2 title matches at that. I don't know what the fuck Tony Khan is paying him, but you better be paying this motherfucker extra for what he did. Put some fucking respect on Pac's name. Pac is a fucking beast. So we go from an excellent trios match to end Rampage to an excellent All-Atlantic Championship match to start Battle of the Belts 4. So Trent was in early control with a slingshot pescado. On the outside, Trent delivered a spear on the floor to Pac. Pac regained control. Trent then came in with a wrecking ball dropkick. Pac then came back with an avalanche brainbuster on Trent. Coming back from commercial, Trent with a German suplex and a half and half, tornado DDT for a very close near fall. I fucking love the way that Pac sells the DDT. We had a big lariat by Trent, turning Pac inside out. Stuff pile driver. Pac just kicked out. So Trent, props to Trent too. Trent, he's great at what he does. Trent is not a guy to be taken lightly, really. Trent is a guy in which he's going to go in there and he's going to give everything that he has. He always puts on bangers, Trent. So Pac, then he kicked out of the stuff pile driver. Pac then, he suplexed Trent off of the ramp through the timekeeper's table, which was positioned on the outside near the ramp. And Pac actually went through the table himself. Trent landed on the floor. So both men had nasty fucking landings. Great spot. The crowd's going nuts. Pac then put Trent back into the ring. Black arrow, but Trent got the knees up. Pac then came back with a knee. Both men were on the top. Avalanche, half and half suplex. Pac kicked out again. Trent was then locked in the brutalizer. Trent barely got to the ropes. Pac then used the ring hammer again. He hit Trent with it, and Pac gets the win yet again. Fantastic fucking match. Pac delivered 2 pay-per-view worthy matches like it was fucking nothing. Pay that man extra. He is a fucking monster. He is not human. He is a machine. And I would not want to be caught in Pac's way at all. 40 minutes. Absolute machine is Pac. So Pac remains 2-Pac. Orange Cassidy then came out and attacked Pac, and we get the rematch for the Canadian Dynamite debut. It is indeed going to be Pac and Orange Cassidy once again for the All-Atlantic Championship. I like it. I very much like it. Willow Nightingale Willow Nightingale took on Jade Cargill. This is for the TBS Championship. Decent stuff. Nothing over the top. It was quick, but it was definitely one of Jade's better matches. Willow, she is very good at what she does. So I like the fact that Willow's getting a shine. Her and Jade didn't do too bad at all. They were put in a very tough spot. Very, very, very tough spot. But I will say this. They did very well. Decent match. Really nothing to go back and rewatch, but it was one of Jade's better matches for sure. Willow. She tried to use her speed with a nice drop kick to Jade. Jade was sent to the floor. One thing I've noticed, Jade is moving a little bit more fluidly in the ring, which I appreciate. Willow then with a tope suicida onto the baddies. Jade with a wheelbarrow flapjack into the steps. So Willow Nightingale's out. Coming back from commercial, Willow, this is one thing that I love about Willow here. Willow fucking hits hard. She came in with a wicked fucking lariat. Fucking great lariat by Willow Nightingale. Nice head scissor takedown. Cannonball in the corner. Willow then with a missile dropkick from the inner rope. Jade then with a world's strongest slam of sorts. Then she hit the Jaded. She gets the win. Decent little match. Nothing too crazy. I like what Jade is doing. Obviously, Willow is not winning. Jade is being built up for Jamie Hayter to inevitably take her down. All of a sudden, Vicky Guerrero came out. Nyla Rose then stole the TBS championship and ran up. That was fucking stupid. You could have given Willow and Jade just 2 or 3 more minutes. Don't understand why we needed this. This was fucking stupid. Why do we need more title thievery on AEW TV? It legitimately feels like Bruce Pritchard wrote that little part of the show. The show was fine up until that point. Don't understand why we needed that. So after that, we then get the main event, which was the Gates of Agony versus FTR for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. Solid match. Nothing overly crazy. And the one thing I can chalk that up to is the fact that the crowd was really burnt out. Because they were subjected to a great trios match to open the show, to open Rampage, a great trios match to close Rampage, and then they were subjected to a amazing opener between Trent and Pac. So I can understand why they were a little burnt out here, but it was still a solid match. So this is for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. Solid stuff right here between these two teams. FTR was in control early on. We had Bishop Kong on the defense. The Gates of Agony took over and they isolated Cash Wheeler. Coming back from commercial, Cash made the tag to Dax. Toa Leona came in with a nice Samoan drop for a 2. Dax then drop-kicked Leona, or he was drop-kicked into Leona. Toa Leona had Dax in a World's Strongest Slam position. Cash drop-kicked Dax into Leona. They went crashing down. We had a tribute to Randy Orton, little FTRKO tribute. We had a double draping DDT by FTR. Very nicely done. That was on Toa Leona. Tag to Khan. Khan with a gut buster. Cash kicked out. We had a tag to Dax. We had the spike pile driver, but Leona saved it. Leona was trying to fight off FTR, but the big rig was eventually hit. Prince Nana caused a distraction. Khan was then sent into Nana. We had a backslide by Dax Harwood, and they retained the titles. Solid match, went about 13 minutes. The Gates of Agony. They then attacked, as did Cage. So the Embassy attacked before we got Warjo coming out to help even the odds. Now, I'm not sure what it's leading to, but if you're asking me, I would love to see Brian Cage and Samoa Joe mix it up. That would be a great fucking horse fight. And if you're asking me, I would abso-fucking-lutely give. I would give Brian Cage the Ring of Honor World Television title. I really would. I think that would be great. Give him the World Television Championship. Samoa Joe doesn't really need it. Get Joe on AEW TV. Give me Joe and Wardlow for the TNT title. That's what I'm looking at. But Battle of the Belts, I would not say it was the best one, only because of the fact that that match between Claudio and Takeshita at Battle of the Belts 3, that's going to be a very, very hard match to top. It really is. That's going to be a very hard match to top. If you didn't watch that match, I would highly encourage you go out and watch that match because it was fucking awesome. But Battle of the Belts and Rampage, 2 solid wrestling shows, really good stuff. I like what AEW did there, and it seems as though Tony Khan is trying to make the most of the time that he's given. And I like what we got. So more of that, please. More of that, please. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got. That's all I got. There's no more. No more for today. That wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Do not forget, like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Check out the rundown for Extreme Rules with Jay Alletto. The link is also in the description before you even get into it. I'm telling you, we are going to be taking over. We're going to be taking over. DJ Storm's taking over, as is Hardcore Sports. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Check out Hardcore Sports. Hardcore Sports Twitch right over there. Hardcore Sports 1. Hardcore Sports Instagram. Hardcore Sports Network. Hardcore Sports Twitter at Hardcore Sports N. And YouTube channel Hardcore Sports Network. Till next time, please remember to check out the Rewind with Earl Cole tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. And, of course, the Wrestling Experience, where I will be a guest on this Thursday, October 13th. It's going to be big. We also got NXT TakeOver Halloween Havoc happening on the 22nd. I am not going to be doing a rewind for it, specifically because of the fact that the 23rd is my mother's birthday. 23rd is my mother's birthday, so I will be spending time with family. I may not do with the LFU on Saturday as well because I also have some family stuff going on Saturday, the 22nd. I will let you guys know, but the 19th, I do plan on doing a rundown for it. I do plan on just hanging out on a Thursday. We'll have some fun. We'll do a rundown. So it should be a nice little chill stream. We'll talk about NXT for a little bit. We'll see what happens. But I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update, and I think it's about time that we answer the oh-so-important question. Muy importante. People. Who runs the IWC? Who? I want to know who runs it, baby. I'll tell ya who runs it. Who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. Don't you forget it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.